from the mystical planet known as Straya. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 103rd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast, and I just pushed the wrong button, so the applause track cut out.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Oh, wow, we're off to a flying start as per usual. A little bit late. We had to postpone the cast today, put it a little bit later back, so Matt could get back to his sweet West Australian home, and I could go and celebrate my Nan's 90th birthday, which I think we can all agree is a pretty fucking good innings. So, Nan, if you're out there, I know you watch the podcast. She's a keen Titan. Yeah, happy birthday, doll.
You are so full of shit. You're so full of shit. Fuck, you're full of shit.
Mate, I come from a long line of Titans. What can I say?
You come for a long line of bullshit artists.
Seriously, quick story about my Nan. My Nan is the toughest person I've ever met in my life. She got a hernia when she gave birth to my dad and got it fixed when she had open heart surgery 52 years later. That's all right. I'll just put up with it.
You know when you put stuff off.
Yeah, no,
52 years.
I'll get to it.
I'll get to it at some point. Don't worry.
I'll get to it. I love man. All right, dudes, how are you? How are things? That's how I am. I've had a few beers, so yay. Good. It's good to be cast in the evening for that reason.
Yeah.
Day drinking.
Nice.
I mean, evening drinking. It's not just day drinking anymore. We're not chook. No, it's been a fucking shit week. I'm not gonna lie. For the first time in about fucking, it'd be close to about 8 months. I had I smashed half a carton of Great Northerns last night on stream because it's just been a shit week. It's just been a rubbish fucking week.
I mean, let me tell you, there's drinking to get away from your problems is a good idea.
How was Sydney, Matt?
Look, yeah, it was cool. I got invited to a brand jam. They call it the Brand Jam. It was the first one in Australia. I haven't done it before. They've rolled them out in the US and some other countries. Maybe 20 to 30 content creators, and they have about 4 major brands there. Pretty much from like 9, ran from about 9 o'clock in the morning to about 7 at night. Workshops with like the guys from YouTube, pretty much like workshop with the guys from YouTube, like a brand brief, and then basically develop a pitch for a sponsor. Then the sponsors came in, you pitched to them, and you did that twice throughout the day, and then some networking at the end of it. So really cool. Like it was so cool meeting other people who are YouTubers and like not having to explain what YouTube was. Like I met guys that had like medieval channels and talked about swords. I met like a couple that literally
that are Aussies.
Yeah.
Fucking oath. I mean, we didn't even ever have a medieval age here, but that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll give you this channel. Shadowversity. I should find the link. Like covers like medieval swords and stuff like that. A couple literally live around the corner from me. They came to Sydney as well, and they have a travel YouTube channel. They traveled 10 months out of the year. They don't even have a fucking home. They just travel and they just have sponsors. And they do like a travel vlog, and it was nutty, man. It was so cool to like just talk to other people doing YouTube and seeing how they do it. And like I don't know. I felt like in gaming we probably don't really rely on sponsors very much, but there was cooking channels, there was travel ones, and nearly all of them is like super dependent on having sponsors to make things viable because their like production costs are quite high. So
YouTube has this fucking incredible ability to not monetize any content because fuck YouTube, am I right?
Yeah.
Fuck the people that build our platform and make us our goddamn money. Fuck off, Google.
I was preaching the word of Destiny lore and explaining like what my channel does and pitching to some companies and seeing what they could be. So it was a great experience. I don't think much will come from that, but it was really good networking, and it was like, well, something could come from it, but we'll see. And hoping we can add some stuff to the channel with some sponsor help. So yeah, and Google Offices was fucking just nutty, man. Like, there was like an arcade room just on the floor, and then there's like kitchens and shit, and like chefs that just cook for the employees, and like
so instead of working on their algorithm or working on fucking not protecting the creators, they're putting on fucking chefs to cook lunch for the employees. Go fuck yourself, Google.
Do you want to hear? I love our anti-consumerism.
Yeah, sloth, the fucking covert communist from the north.
So did you see that YouTube added like YouTube stories? If you want to talk about people being angry about adding features to YouTube rather than fixing all the other shit, have you seen that?
Nah,
it's like,
or
it's
the
literally
fact
like
YouTube went down for God knows how long. When you tried to stream, and YouTube went down, and then the first thing they tweeted about was important. Here's this cat, instead of fixing their fucking platform and protecting their goddamn creators. Communism for all, you fucking socialist.
Stop it. Just stop it.
You know, guys, I love sharing my stories about coming back from Google HQ. Coming home to dad and, hey dad, I'm back, and fucking, you have a good time. Fuck you, son. Giving into the
hey, I haven't said fuck you yet.
I haven't said fuck you yet.
Yeah. Anyway, look, it was a cool experience. I guess the podcast has sort of got a little bit of that taste now that we've been to like this when we did the Gambit event, went to Sydney. So it's just like a whole new world to discover and see how that system works. But yeah, it was cool.
A new fantastic point of view.
I knew he was gonna fucking do it the second you said it.
No one to tell us no.
Oh, why, Matt? Never magic carpet ever again. All right, well, how about we go from calling people fuckwits at Google to calling people fuckwits in the Destiny community right off the bat.
Ooh, motherfuckers, this fucking rants about these dumb cunts. Oh,
you almost
two. That's my two for this. That's my two.
That's
for the
it. No more.
These dumb fuckwit cockends that decided to leak Destiny, Black Armory cutscenes and all that sort of thing. Take it away, Mr. Powerslave.
You know what?
Cockend.
It's the head of the shaft on the Destiny
The
down
head
the podcast.
of the shaft.
I think that Sloth just cut out there due to just peak excitement. It had to truncate him a bit. But man, look, I think we've all been around Destiny long enough to know that this shit happens. I don't think most of us understand why people fucking do it, but the more I've thought about it this week and the more people I've spoken to about it, and normally it's not the sort of thing I'd involve myself in, but this fucking shit me off. Because I saw it and I didn't particularly want to see it. I saw it in reply. We're not going to talk about it. Don't stress. I saw it in reply to a fucking Bungie tweet that some smart fuck had just posted it there so that literally anyone who looked at the comments and replies would eventually just stumble on it.
Yeah. It was one of those things that you could ruin like fucking 3 words and you couldn't unsee what you just...
Yep.
You could write it, you could link it, and it would instantly be ruined. It's one of those things. It was one of those spoilers that was so easy to spoil, that was so easy to tell someone else about it. And like, I was streaming on the day and my chat was really upset with people keep coming in to do that. I was only streaming for a couple hours and every 15 minutes someone would come in and basically either outright say it or just say, have you seen it? And like, I sort of hit up because I know friend of the show, Anon-Pig, he's pretty quick on this stuff. He's like, man, this is leaked. And he like reported it to Bungie straight away. good little loyal pig that he is.
Yeah,
Like,
Keller.
he was
He's
like,
not mate, he didn't get to be the Keller Pigs by fucking being obstinate, man. He got help. He's good.
Yeah.
He's a good egg.
he like sent that link straight away. I was like, dude, this needs to go down because this is like massive spoilers. And like, I guess I don't think so. So I sort of tried to follow up a little bit with the guys at Bungie. Like, I was like, can you not sue the fuck out of this dude, like, for doing this? Because this is massive. And I have a feeling there's a bit of a loophole in regards to when something is released. If they like basically data mine it, this is sort of gray area. Well, it's in the public realm basically because it's available there, and Bungie share their API. So I think that's where like the loophole comes in. It's like, well, you share it, you share the data's there. We're just looking for it. It's different if it hasn't been put in there yet and someone's taking it straight from like studio door or like using inside trading or inside knowledge of the company to release it. That's way different. Like if you're a play tester and you release it. But in regards to data mining, and this all comes back to the PC, man. It all comes back to the PC release with how easy can people get hold of stuff now.
I mean, people can argue this until they go blue in the face. As far as I'm concerned, Bungie have every right to remove any sort of free access data. They have the absolute right to remove any free access data, as much as it would fuck over people like Richard Devereaux and Ishtar Commander and all that sort of thing.
And Milk that's in the chat right now. He does Braytech. We're going to get him on.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Those people, as far as I'm concerned, they need to apply to Bungie and make sure Bungie need to.
It's not API though. It's data mined out of the game. It's a different thing.
Yeah. So
they're basically trawling through files, and I imagine that.
No. But that's what I'm saying. It's I don't care if it's not in the. It shouldn't be open access to anyone. Then it needs to Bungie need to write up contracts, and people who want to apply for that data for their own third party.
Yeah,
apps.
but it's not that, Sloth. It's the fucking shit that you downloaded a week ago.
I know that, mate. I know that, but like, there's got to be some way to fucking get rid of it to minimize this, to minimize the risk of this.
I hope here's my fucking long and short of it, right? And I'm not going to touch on the legalities of it. I'm not going to touch on the fucking, if you should have access to it, if it should come with it, how Bungie control it, because ultimately it comes back to fucking two things. Do you respect the artists and developers and everyone who goes into making this game enough to give them the opportunity to present their fucking game the way it was made and designed and ordered to be done, right? Where, to give them the opportunity to fucking watch, or like whatever happens in the game to happen in the sequence that it should happen in. That is, I mean, if you can't respect the game that much, you're a fuckwit. Number two, if you were willing to data mine it and put it on fucking Destiny the Game Reddit, and look, there's part of me is a bit shitty about the fact that the fucking mods on Reddit let it happen as well, because they do this like, but we put a spoiler tag on it. Yeah, you did. That's fine. The spoiler tag, cool. Talk about shit with spoilers. The fact of the matter is that a dude data mined it, pulled it out of the file before anyone had the chance to experience it in game, and then uploaded it to the fucking biggest news platform in Destiny, which made it completely publicly available to every single fuckwit in the community to go and post in reply on Twitter and go into streams and all this sort of shit. You cannot hide behind the fact that, it's legal and I put a spoiler thing on it. You're still a fuckwit. At the end of the day, you're putting it out there and enabling people, ruining other people's experience, whether they want it to or not. So, Ginza, that's your name. Give yourself a triple uppercut. You're a fuckwit. Don't do it again. And Reddit, fucking don't. I understand that Reddit tries not to fucking shape the Destiny conversation. I respect that. It's got to be at least somewhat impartial. But seriously, when it comes to stuff like this, the second it's on Reddit, people fucking download it. They put it everywhere. It's everywhere. And you can't be like taking that responsibility as a mod seriously if you're willing to not look further than Reddit itself. Like you're a gatekeeper to the whole community, more or less.
There's a fiery conversation there with Reddit. I tell you about my experience with them, right? When I went to the bloody summit, and I wanted to post a summary of the meeting with Christopher Barrett and the other narrative lead, some of the mods didn't want to let it go through.
Why?
So, like, I don't fucking know. They weren't happy about it. They didn't want it to go through.
They pick and choose. They pick and choose.
I don't know. Look, I don't know
see-
any of them personally, to be honest. There's a couple that I've met that have been fine, and like I'm not going to cast aspersions.
Yeah,
Fuzzle's lovely.
I know Fuzzle. I met him in person, and he was lovely. But and he didn't have any issues with it too. And to be honest, I might have not even got my post up there if he didn't back me. If I didn't have like someone in the know to like approve my post. So if you're going to play that fucking game, well, then you can get rid of that stuff. And, you know, like, anyway.
I can be cynical and say that they want it up there.
You did a good job. You did good. You said everything I think that needs to be said about that.
Log, that was good, and I'm going to add this to that. So when that'll
Slothy with the second
no,
barrel.
I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to put it on the what this mod or this mod team of the Destiny news subreddit. What has happened is that means people who like me, who don't do spoilers. You guys unfortunately had it spoiled. I don't have Facebook. I don't look at the Bungie posts. I don't look at the TWAB. I don't look at the comments.
Yeah,
I get my news from the run sheet that I fucking see in front of me. And the and from talking to people on my channel. It's legitimately true. But I went into a few streams, namely, so I have a very rigid afternoon regime. 4 o'clock, I turn on Jay Sniperton, I watch Jay Sniperton. 6 o'clock, I turn on Syntax 7, I watch Syntax 7. And the mods of those two channels, like they both had to implement 6 second delay before anybody else sees the chat. And the mods had it spoiled for them, so not everyone else had to. Not everyone else had it to be spoiled, but you could see the light and the enjoyment of the game fading from those two casters' eyes because people keep coming in and keep fucking spoiling it every goddamn every 5 minutes. That's what you did. Mods of the Destiny Reddit subreddit. That's what you did.
No, they didn't do it. They allowed
people from enjoying the game. No. By not removing the post.
Because the thing is, it was a YouTube video, right? So it would have been flagged straight away because you often, if you make a Reddit post with a YouTube link, it doesn't even go anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
true. That's got to be approved.
To go through approval. So like, it would have been flagged.
It's like this is what you do. This is what you have done. You have affected casters when I'm talking in a wider scheme of things. You have affected casters by their numbers, by people not wanting to see spoilers. Now, the casters aren't pushing the spoilers. It's the random fuckos in chat that have been pushing the spoilers.
Yeah,
you have affected casters' numbers. You've affected people's enjoyment of the game. You really honestly need to have a fucking good hard look in the mirror and figure out where your priorities lie. Is it with the game and the enjoyment of everybody else, or is it spoilers?
Yeah.
Because if it's spoilers, get the fuck off Destiny 2 Reddit and go start your own spoiler subreddit. And if you have an issue with that, at me. Real-time sloth and we'll have a fucking conversation.
Hang on. Can we just do one thing? Can you guys both put your hands up like this? I thought you were both holding the pen. You were both holding the pen at one stage in this, right?
No, I'm holding my
right, because I'm like, fuck. I mean, I just take someone more seriously if they're holding a pen. Matt was definitely holding a pen earlier.
Oh, this one.
No, it's so incredibly fucked, and
it is.
I am holding I am avoiding shit like the plague. I am avoiding Destiny like the plague until Tuesday, so I have a chance to go into it spoiler free.
You know, like to draw a parallel, right? Because I think their argument's like, it'll be somewhere else. Someone else will do it. Like somewhere else will post it.
That's not an argument.
No, I know, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like this happened with the law stuff. Okay, every single law content creator had access to the Truth and Power book. We got that, right? And we could have easily made bank on making money off those videos because they had massive spoilers in them. And we all agreed that we weren't going to do that. And we didn't do that. And we still haven't done that. And it's still weeks to go before this main mystery is revealed about the whole curse. Other people did it, but we definitely stopped some of that flow by saying we have responsibility to do that. And I can fucking guarantee, because I've spoken to the people at Bungie that say, like, if you have influence, whether that's a YouTuber or Reddit, you have some responsibility. They won't tell you this out loud, so I'm gonna fucking parrot what they've said to me. We don't fucking like you. You have responsibility to your audience, right? And what you release. We're not going to tell you what to do there because that's not our role, but you should have some morals when it comes to releasing information. And that's what they told us, like, as YouTubers. Like, there were some fucking pissy people, like, you have a big audience and you just spoiled like our writing.
Like, it's just have some fucking integrity.
Anyway. Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on. We've got heaps of positive shit to talk about from here on in. It's on the upward trajectory.
Ladies and gentlemen, talking about the Vidoc though. So Matt and Log have actually watched the Vidoc. Again, like as I said, I haven't checked it out, but they've actually checked out the Vidoc and the road ahead. So gents, let's have a little bit of a chat about that.
Yeah.
We'll go through what we've got in the notes here, and then we'll have a little conversation about it. So the timeline, ladies and gentlemen, the Season of the Forge, Black Armory, max power 650, all Forsaken owners. There are no spoilers, ladies and gentlemen, for the live chat, for YouTube, and for on our audio only platforms. There will be zero spoilers in this podcast
ever. Like literally ever, unless you come to it a month late. Ever.
Yep. All right, so the Volander Forge unlocks with Black Armory launch. The Gofanon Forge unlocks later. The raid opens on the 7th of December. Very few, like, it's not a great deal of time to grind, but it definitely comes in line with what they've done in the past. The Dawning, the Izanami Forge unlocks, the Exotic Quest, and Crimson Days.
Yeah. So, like, if you look at the... It's not they didn't call it a roadmap, but it pretty much had like all the content for each season. Even if you don't buy the annual pass, every season you'll get a power up. Max pack will go up by 50. So even if you don't get Black Armory and you don't get Joker's Wild and you don't get Penumbra or Season of the Shadow, you still get the 50 power upgrade, so you don't have to purchase the other. I don't even know what to call them, because we had this DLC conversation and they actually said it in the
that it's not DLC anymore. They're moving away from it. They want to be a persistent world.
It's not DLC, it's an annual pass. So, but what do you call it?
This is why Sloth doesn't watch the Vidocs.
It's just new content. It's just new content.
They look, so they're branding. They want to call
content.
it a season. They want to call them seasons. But to be honest, if you look at what's normally in a DLC, it's everything you get in a DLC. It's a raid, it's weapons, it's armor. It's the only thing that's missing from it is campaign.
Raid. That's the lair.
Let's call it
raid.
Content expansion.
It is a raid lair, because if you go up onto the top right and have a look at the content in the button there, it says raid lair.
Sloth, shut up. You're wrong.
Yes. No, I'm not.
You are 100% wrong.
Log on to Destiny right now. Look on the fucking top right that you put your cursor over, and it says raid lair.
Hold on, Sloth. Let me read you exactly from the Bungie notes. When we revealed the annual pass earlier this year, we mentioned the inclusion of new raid lairs. In the Season of the Forge reveal earlier this week, we said it contains a raid, not a raid lair, a concept we had introduced last year. Oh, with so much anger in this podcast.
Motherfucker, I am opening Blizzard right now, opening fucking Destiny, and I'll show you that it says fucking raid lair.
Come at me, bro. Come at me.
But it's not on the Leviathan.
Yeah, it's a completely separate story from everything else.
It's in the city.
It's in the city, so it's its own story. They have prefaced it by saying, raids come in different lengths and stuff. They did reference Crotas in the description of it, so it kind of made me go, ooh.
They did say that this sits in between Crota's End and Last Wish. So, like, I get the feeling it's towards the Crota's End. I get the feeling it's towards the Cronus end scale.
I reckon we're going to see something more like looking at it just from what they said and just a few of the little things that they've commented about. You know, they're saying that it's more reminiscent than anything of Wrath of the Machine, like bombastic fucking action and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, it could be exactly what the Doctor ordered when you've got, you know, a relatively mechanic heavy Last Wish. So good.
It looks like there was a Sparrow section in it, which I think is what reminded me of Wrath of the Machine. You know, just like heavy metal music playing and you guys just racing, like, you know, just in between sections or something. And then like that's what they made it look like, but you know, they're always tricky with their marketing and editing. Like,
all right. So I'm looking at the main.
You got a sword you want to roll on?
Go fuck yourself. I am looking at the fucking main screen in Destiny, which, as someone who hasn't seen the Vidoc or keep up with the Twitter posts to stop from spoilers, go fuck yourself, Log.
Mate, if I could, I'd never leave the house.
You do anyway. You've been married for as long as I have. It says on the top right, Raid Lair. However, the link that Jugs and Ets have just posted in the chat, it does say Raid from...
it's a raid.
What's his face?
It's a raid.
It does say
Raid.
Yeah.
I think they maybe were just trying to keep a lid on it.
Their message yet. They haven't updated their...
So that's my bad. That's my bad. So you can fucking clip that and we'll do it at the 200th. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Leftover text. Thank you.
Got him.
So I'm going to say...
to celebrate that, actually.
You know what? I'm going to have to do the same thing. Matt, for those of you in the chat, in the YouTube and on the audio only, could you just explain if there's any or a little bit of information about Ada while I go get a beverage?
Sure. So I think for the lore nerds, the main thing to take away is I'm just going to keep calling it a roadmap because I don't know what else to call it. It's basically that big
it is a roadmap,
image.
It is a roadmap.
Okay, so the roadmap with the Season of the Forge, season of the Drifter, and Season of the Shadow, the Penumbra one, basically tells you what you get free each time, what you get in the annual pass. And in both of them, it says new triumphs and lore books. So even if you don't get the annual pass, you still get new lore. And so and I think it'll probably be quite similar to what we've got already. So would you say we've got the Black Armory? We haven't really got... You know, we had the update for it, whatever you would call that.
We've had the pre-update, yes.
Yeah, so the pre-update, they actually released a bunch of lore about Eva Levante. No, not
Eva.
Eva Levante. So they actually expanded her book a little bit, and they actually had a bunch of lore tabs. So I think that's the stuff you get regardless. And then there's actually some leaks, which I'm not going to cover. There are leaks, I think 4 or 5 new lore books for the Forge. Probably a butt ton of new lore about Ada, about the Black Armory, about specific for that season. So from what I've read, there's what is available right now about Ada. I think there's only one entry, and she's sitting in an area, New Vancouver. And she's at a theme park, and she's a bit of a weird person. The main thing to take away from Ada is she's Ada 1. She's the lowest reset EXO. The we've encountered, always been Lakshmi 2, being the future war cult. Now, I've seen people talk about like the reset saying that means she hasn't had a mind wipe, but
I'd take it that she's had one.
What? Yeah, so because when you're in Clovis Bay and you talk to the War Mind, they say that the number represents the number of memory wipes, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'd be like if you were Ada prior to being an EXO, wouldn't you be Ada 1 because you've had that mind wipe to get rid of your old human memories to begin?
Yeah. So I think if they start the count like when you transfer the human mind to the EXO, do you become Ada 1 on just the mind transfer because they're probably wiping stuff as you go across?
Yeah.
Does that count? Or is it like human to Ada, mind wipe, Ada 1? Don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
interesting.
mean,
Well,
how do you know they
I'm-
even keep the same name when they I mean, Cade could have been like Terry.
Well, so there's a
Hey,
there's
Terry.
there's actually one new card, like that came with Forsaken. I can't remember what it's called. That said the only thing that Exos keep or remember is their name. So that's
Okay.
probably important.
Well, thank you. You just answered my question, Matt. Very good.
Yeah.
But it all looks really, really good. Like I saw a short, like I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw Ada moving. She was holding this big fuck off Barrett looking sniper rifle. And like the cut, it was it wasn't the spoiler, but she looked good. She looked good. Can
I think
confirm
I think
White Titans.
we need these kinds of characters to add a bit more depth because like we've got, you look at what Anna Bray did coming in with Warmind and that. I think every sort of they have a huge opportunity when they do things like this and add expanded content to bring narrative by adding a character, and we're not going to get that with the Season of the Drifter, I'm assuming. Or the Season of the whatever it is, So I assume that he's going to be the main port of call in that. So I don't know. I think it's a great move.
I think the cool thing about, regardless of how you want to interpret the one, like I think this might be the closest we get to like learning more about Exos and learning more. Like we got pretty close with Cade, but we know that he's a little bit scrambled. So like that's what I'm excited about.
It's fucking really scrambled now, mate.
Yeah, it's super scrambled. Like that's what I'm too soon. That's what I'm excited about with Ada is like, hey, I wonder if she's going to tell us more about the Exos. Like, how did she avoid so many memory wipes? Did she know?
Is she messed up?
Yeah. Did she know that Clovis Bray was doing this? Is she going to say like, yeah, they're scumbags, and that's why I went into the Black Armory and we hid during the whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. So,
she should also be batshit crazy too, right? Like
she could.
Well, I guess the whole point of what Clovis Bray was saying is their version of events is we wipe the memory. We do a reboot to make sure that they don't go crazy when the human mind is in the exo body. So the fact that she hasn't had memory wipes, you could say she might be completely batshit crazy.
She might be fine, and it might all be bullshit.
Yeah,
the thing I want to ask there, Matt, because I just had a little bit of a revelation. Maybe it's instead like Clovis Bray were lying, and they've implemented. They've said that you need a mind wipe.
Yeah.
But maybe it's so you don't remember what happens. The horrors.
I think it's so they can censor it. Censor it.
Yeah.
Take that one out.
Like maybe you weren't going to be or die if you transferred from Exo to human, or human to Exo rather.
That's sort of the exact sort of conspiracy around Clovis Bray and the memory wipe is, if you look at Cade's journals that he released, he's like basically writing to his son A saying, I saw some crazy stuff today, but I got to be quiet about it. Otherwise it's Wipesville again. So he sort of, and he also calls himself a lughead, which is a bit like a jarhead, I guess, but like an exo. So he sort of refers to himself as like a robot soldier that they sort of wipe their memories to help them do missions. And so they keep forgetting that kind of stuff.
It's in the chat. It's so they can make the Exo OS run slow. Sell next year's model. Oh, that was fantastic. Yeah.
Pretty funny.
All right, so just going a little bit further on, we'll be going out into the world, hunting down each forge to reclaim it, reignite it, and craft weapons. Volunteer, Gofanon, and Izanami are the names of the three forge families. Japanese family, French family, and Norse.
Yeah,
Japanese is a sniper with 4 bullets into one-shot body shot.
Yeah.
Rude.
So, like,
Rude.
Have we heard what the Crucible community feels about one-shot body shots?
Matt, they're still screeching about the grenade launcher.
They're still screeching about the mountaintop. Don't worry about it. The French go Fanon bow. It feels thorny.
That's what they said about it. Is like it feels thorny, and it looked like it had Firefly on it. like headshot explosions. That's sort of what it looked like. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does anyone else get
say
that?
much about
Does
it.
anyone else get that like pang in the bottom of their guts whenever they hear anything compared to Thorn? Like one of these days, it's going to be worse than Thorn. Like I live in fear, man. Fuck, that was a plague. Anyway, moving on.
And a Norse Volander. If I'm butchering that, I apologize for those of you who are from that part of the world.
Volander.
Fusion rifle, arm blaster. A giant fireball slug tracks you down.
Yeah,
It's called the
basically
gun.
like-
The gun's called Jotun, like giant.
Yeah,
As in
Jotun, yeah.
Jotun, yeah. Jotun.
Holy shit.
I don't even use fusion.
It goes onto your arm like, is it Dead Space? Is that the one where you have that lots of stuff like your
Yeah, it's
arm
like-
like goes into the alien tech? Yeah, it's like it's a fusion rifle, and that's why they called it internally the arm blaster.
So you think it's like Mega Man, you just slide your arm into it and just like pew pew.
and it shoots a fireball slug that apparently tracks you down somehow.
That's fantastic.
Sounds lovely. Hey, remember when Colony came out and we had that conversation? We wish they'd make weapons just batshit crazy.
Yep.
It fucking happened.
They have. They have. It's happening. Each has a forge and a pinnacle weapon that you can create. The forge has matchmaking. There is a new title called Blacksmith. 5 new exotics, one of which is returning. Last word is returning. The raid is in the last city compared to Wrath. High action.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we want to talk about the raid.
Okay with that.
So with the forge, right? So 3-person matchmaking, and you basically kill enemies, and it's like the rift mechanic. You got to throw it into the forge to like forge a weapon. It's from what we've seen so far.
That sounds
So
fucking
the
cool,
the,
man.
the higher,
If you know what you're going to
so
get out of
I'm
it
guessing-
too.
I'm guessing like the more difficult it gets, the higher tier the weapon is.
I would imagine they haven't said anything about it,
The
but
better
yeah. So
perk rolls,
you're
that's
basically
fucking-
going out into the world and finding these. The forges are linked to the Black Armory, so Ada's going to send you out to reactivate the forges. You kill enemies, you take materials from enemies, you dump them in the forge. It spits out a Black Armory weapon.
I reckon we're gonna.
I don't know how it's.
I reckon we're going to
but
see
something
like
that.
the rotation like we have with Esky Protocol. I think
yeah,
we'll see a lot of that.
yeah.
And the other thing that comes along with this is matchmaking for this activity too. I mean, these forges exist in places that we've been in terms of like the planets and stuff, but they're their own little microcosm sort of area that you can't just walk into. So they're accessed by a matchmaking process. I mean, of course, you can bring your mates, but I think this is a step in the right direction with that whole, you know, everyone sort of says, oh, why can't we just have 9-person matchmaking for Esky Protocol and shit like that? I think they've taken that feedback on. And when you think about it, that wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things. That was 6 months.
Well,
and
did
they're
you guys
already
see what they
turning
put
it
into
around.
Season of the Shadow?
No.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
6-player match-made activity. Sloppy?
Oh.
We'll get
6
there.
player.
We'll get there,
So,
Matt. That was the only spoiler that we're going to ever have on the podcast because it's spoiling something we're going to talk about in 5 minutes.
So in the video, what they showed, and I don't know if it's going to be different, but it was like Escalation Protocol and like start Escalation Protocol, but it was like start matchmaking. So you were in the world, but when you clicked on it, it took you back out to the director to matchmake. So I don't know if that's how it's going to be, or if it's just going to be selectable from the director. But in the video that they released, like they actually went up to the forge, clicked square, and then it took them back out to director to match.
Square? The fuck is Square?
Because they're all on PlayStation.
Stop it, Matt. Stop it. Oh.
So wait, what are you guys looking forward to out of the 3 foundries? The sniper, the bow, or the arm blaster?
The arm blaster. I mean, like my inner
Yeah,
weeb is
blaster.
just like the fucking, you know, like I've got little models of samurais all over the shelf that's right there, but it's still the fucking dude. Do I want like Mega Man's arm with a gun named after fucking Norse giants to track people down and shoot fire at them? I think it's a fucking no-brainer, Matt. Right?
I'm sorry. And look, they didn't specifically say last word, but I mean, from everything that's been
it's heavily
mined,
implied.
then they basically showed the quest for malfeasance, which is linked to Dredge and Yor and the Shadows of Yor. That's it. And one old returning, and they showed that cutscene with the final mission.
I'll tell you what. Right now, I'm calling it now. Is that last word makes a return now? We are 92.59% sure of the last word return.
Apparently, it's on someone's hip in the cutscene. I didn't see that.
Okay, and then in the season of the Joker, the Drifter season, I am gonna say I'm 92.259% sure.
I don't reckon Thorn's coming back.
Thorn
I
will
don't
make
reckon
a
it's coming
return.
back. I don't reckon it's coming back. You know why? Because there's so many other guns. They're always like, oh, this is a bit like Thorn, man. Fucking like, well, don't make guns like Thorn. You're gonna bring back Thorn, motherfucker. Just bring back Thorn. I think that's I want to see some of the weirder fucking Destiny 1 exotics come back. I want to see, like, we've got the Ace of Spades now and that sort of stuff. We've got Thunderlord. Plan C, Pocket Infinity. Like some of the really, like, Invective. I mean, as much as it was a
fuck Invective.
On a side note, have you seen the you Titans shut up? Have you seen the ornament for Queensbreaker called Kingmaker?
No, I have not.
All right, we'll go on with
Queensbreaker Kingmaker. If that's not a phallic reference, I don't know what is.
Well, it's about killing the House of Kings, right?
Good.
No, it's about injecting your.
Sloth, you can say whatever you want. It's not exactly a PG podcast. You dropped cunt 2 times in 5 minutes. I just said it. Funny thing, Matt. Me and Sloth had a conversation the other night about trying to not drop that word because we were watching the videos back and there's like someone's got a fucking electric shock thing on Matt's chair, and every time we say it goes like. Anyway, we are what we are. Simple men.
So it's there's a few weapons I'd love to see come back in Destiny 2, like the weirder ones, not the staple ones like Icebreaker and shit like that. Fuck Icebreaker.
They can bring back Icebreaker as long as it occasionally explodes, killing the user. Because it always threatened to do it. It never did it.
Fuck, that'd be all right, eh? Like you got a few shots in, you're like, oh, I'm getting into Crucible. Get a few shots in, headshot, bang! Gun explodes on you. You have to go find it again.
Anyway. Print another one from your fucking collection.
You have to print another one. You have to print another one from the fucking thing.
All right. What else have we got? What else have we got to cover off on? What else have we got? We got
moving into the Vital.
What do you reckon? Oh yeah, so there's a couple other things that I spotted in the doc.
Spotted in the Vidoc.
Eva Levante's shown in there, and that's actually some of the new lore. So the book that they released with this latest update before Black Armory actually goes live is that she's returning. So I don't know what shade is again. Don't know. We'll see.
I think like they're bringing her back as the kind of like the main linchpin of the Dawning. I think that's going to be the thing.
Yes,
I reckon she's going to.
She is linked to the Dawning.
If you read those cards, and I jumped on Ishtar Collective because I've got my attention to detail is fucked when I'm actually playing the game, but I can read and occasionally like to do so. So I jumped on Ishtar.
Bullshit. Prove it.
I know. And I think like there's a thing like with the way her attitude is towards it all. And kind of her place in the tower and all that sort of shit because she's been away. She's been elsewhere. I'm not going to say it. I think she's going to come and go a little bit. I think she might be kind of that special events vendor, to try and,
maybe.
Because there's a lot of stuff when you think about what happens in Destiny, like where we had sort of Amanda Holiday roughly shoehorned in as the vendor of what is it, Festival of the Cost. And, I think we could probably do with the person who comes and brings the party with them every few months, right?
Mm.
Anyway, Space Grandma, I reckon she'd do a great job.
then we've got the what seems
More
to
machine
be
guns. More machine guns.
what seems to be the Nova Mortis making a return. If you know what the Nova Mortis is, it is the Thunderlord, but with purpley void goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
saw. I'll probably have to go and have a look, but I'm pretty sure it was Nova Mortis. Like it was a machine gun.
I would
shooting
love
void
to
stuff,
see.
so-
I would love to see Abaddon's making a return as well because that thing was fucking sick.
I imagine all of them will make. A
I
return.
reckon they're going to be back, all three of them, because they're really just reskins of Thunderlord, more or
They
less.
really are, but I mean,
And-
like the name, just Abaddon, or Abaddon.
yeah.
Like, it's just.
If you're a
Just
Warhammer nerd,
fire
you're probably
up.
touching yourself right now anyway, so good job.
I'm touching myself.
Weird.
There was new mods in there too. I didn't really look.
Yeah.
I didn't look at them, but there were new mods with Black Armory coming.
I don't think
like
we could do a
weapon mods.
discussion about that justice until we know more about what they are, and I pick Sassy's brain on whether or not they're useful because I'll never be able to figure it out myself. but
Sassy
still.
doesn't know shit.
He's gone away.
And then
I'm gonna
we've
miss him.
got the fallen grenade launcher.
Oh,
Apparently,
dude.
Yeah, Matt, tell
You
us
haven't
this
seen.
story.
You haven't
Matt-
seen
Matt-
it yet, but like.
yeah.
I don't know. It looks like it shoots these spike grenades that like dig into the ground and then make like an electricity web between them wherever they're planted. So like you can just like spam them and then electricity will fill the space between them. That's what I saw with the grenade launcher. And it looked like a catch attached to your arm. Like the foil was like the
So
design
are they
was like,
bringing arm blasters in?
I
Like,
think
is that's what it
is that a
seems like
thing?
to me? Like, are they
No,
going Mega
a
Man?
grenade, it was on a grenade launcher.
No. But like the look of it,
Maybe.
Like, I'm not bringing arm blasters in
Maybe.
as a weapon, but just the look of it.
Yeah, I think
That
it
is-
looked like that too.
That is something that I really, really wanted Bungie to do, especially with the fucking like when we talked about it the other week, the fusion rifle that looks just like the main ingredient.
Someone
and
in
it's the
chat.
same-
It's a
it's the
grenade
same-
launcher where you have to miss.
It's the same. It's
I might go all right with it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go really well with it.
that's why I take the colony into Gambit, sit behind the thing and just go dunk 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 and just set and forget.
You
Wet and
are.
forget.
You're a horrible
Um,
individual. Anyway.
I am a horrible individual. Yes, you're right. But bringing in new designs are cool. I like new
Yeah,
designs.
yeah.
If it's something that sits on your arm like an arm blaster, but it's as a fusion rifle or as a grenade launcher or as a a crossbow that you can just aim at people and just go tum tum tum, like that sort of thing.
Like that. That's the thing, and it brings back the point of like you'd cop a few reskins if you knew that there was they were putting the time and effort into making like completely out of the fucking box weapons like that. I want them to remake Galahorn, and it just is your whole arm, and you just walk around like this.
Like a transformer.
Yeah, because I mean we've got the fuck off legs and the fuck off helmet. We need a fuck off arm.
What? Oh, what if they did like a nanite thing? So like I'm pushing shit uphill here, but what if they did like a
What else
nanite
is
thing?
new?
So when you sway, when you fuck off, when you change your weapons, you put your arm out, and the thing builds around your arm as you bring it up, as in like nanites. Like that'd be
that'd be a great Siva weapon whenever that
Oh,
comes back.
dude, fuck. What if Rasputin's going to be on our side and he's going to give us weapons that are formed by Siva on our arms?
You know what? Like this conversation just made me think of is like I wonder. This will never happen, but like if Exos awoken and humans could use different weapons, like Exos could transform their arm into like a weapon with whatever mod. Humans, I don't know what you give
Oh.
humans, but awoken would have all your mystical shit, like your dark
Yeah.
energy or stuff like that. And then humans, you guys just get your normal
Yeah.
rifles.
Oh,
so you
that
make it
is-
like
That sounds
No,
so
like, you've
good,
got
and you've
humans-
just seriously
you've
tilted the entire PvP community into oblivion.
you've got like so you've got human weapons that are golden age, and then you've got exo got like Iron Man shit, like motherfucking miniguns coming out of your goddamn arm, and then
I'm going for a
warlocks
piss. I'll be
with
back.
with their
Continue.
That's cool. That's
Continue.
cool. Okay. I am erect. And then we've got, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Season of the Drifters. So another 50 power onto the top of that. Available to all Forsaken owners once again. New Gambit experience, Xur bounties. Interesting.
Yeah,
New
AI.
activity experience, 2 exotic quests, and the spring event.
Yeah, so
New
no
Zerg bounties.
Yeah, we don't know what the bounties are yet. Well, I don't know what they are yet. Anyway, I haven't heard anything about them.
But I mean,
But the other thing to know with Drifter is, so Season of the Forge you get a raid, and Season of the Shadow you get a new raid. So no raid in Season of the Drifter. So there'll be a bit of a gap. But they've got these Zer bounties, and they're doing stuff with the Gambit, and there's also a weekly Joker's Wild quest as well. So
in a
adding a
new
bit of
Gambit
other stuff in there.
experience, are they going back to a PvE horde mode where you're like pushing moats in, but
New
you're
Gambit
killing?
experience. I don't know what that
That's
might
interesting
mean.
as fuck, man.
What are they going to do with? But the other thing is private matches for Gambit is coming then as well.
Man, that'll be good.
Fantastic.
That'll be so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Because maybe then I'll finally be able to get killing people in a super in Invasion. Because it's fucking nearly impossible these days.
Oh, well, that shit won't count in private matches anyway.
Nope.
Poo.
No quest line will ever count in private matches ever again.
Alongside
Just fucking shit on my dreams, you horrible people.
Well,
So,
just have
yeah,
another beer and shut up.
Season of the Shadow, which, by the way, thanks to I have to share this, right? So I made a whole video about Season of the Shadow, and I said, "Thanks, Sloth. Like you pretty much inspired this video." And he's like, "What did I say?" And I told him, "I don't remember saying that."
I legitimately forget what I say in the podcast.
The whole thing
I do.
pivoted on Benedict, the sweeper robot, having the Callus symbol strapped onto his head, and then Season of the Shadow showing a Benedict-like sweeper bot with the samurai sword. So I use that as a pivot point to look at what would happen to frames, because this is the thing, right? Look, I'm going to go off on a lore tangent here, right? Frames typically don't carry weapons because they're programmed for maintenance and sweeping and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
that'd be
frames are
dangerous.
also like
Just shoot the dust
not
off
meant
the
to
ground.
be like intelligent. Like they're not meant to have AI, like sentience. They're just like robots basically. And there's a whole story about Arcite and Dahlia, which is sort of implies them developing sentience. And so the fact that one's a sweeper bot has a weapon like is significant. That means we're either going to fight alongside them or they're going to turn on us or like something like that.
I think it's cool. But I mean, when you think about it, Benedict's had weapons because he's been giving them to us the whole time. He's been stealing them effectively. So,
yeah, well,
hey,
he's been hacked. He's been hacked by Callus.
And then we've got the Season of the Shadow, ladies and gentlemen. Max power 750 again to all Forsaken owners. New 6-player activity, as we spoke about before: a raid, an exotic quest, redacted, Solstice of Heroes, redacted. It's
I mean, it must be just where Sauce says redacted, you'd know it must be good shit, or they wouldn't bother redacting it.
Redacted.
I'm so happy. Like this looks good, right? They talked about getting rid of cutscenes and all that expensive stuff. The
cinematics,
right?
not in-engine cutscenes.
Sorry,
cinematics. Yeah,
and this looks great. Like I feel like they tried to give every little piece of the community what they wanted. The guys in PvE, PvP, the lore nuts. You're getting stuff in both the free seasonal update. You're getting stuff in the annual pass update. It all looks like a lot of content from what we've seen so far. So I'm pretty hopeful that they're gonna solve the problem of the content drought anyway. Like,
this is completely a question without notice. But are you, just as Merlin, what's your name? Marlin from Finding Nemo. Are you, as a content creator and as a specifically lore focused one, do you think that the way they're delivering lore now is optimal? Do you think that does it work for you as a guy who's, effectively got a career around that? Like, is it working well, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think the only sort of thing for me, I guess, is there's a lot of content there. When you put things into the book, it's very much like the anthology now. So like it does take away some of the process of like having to link stuff together. So it does remove some of that mystery. But luckily, the community is still lazy as hell when it comes to reading it. So like, like they don't really read it. And there's still enough sort of secrets in there to make content about it.
If they read it, you'd be out of a fucking job, mate.
If you guys started actually reading the books, I'm out, man. Channel crashes.
Speaking of books, before we move into a very special Man at Arms thing, you got your a edition 1.
Yeah.
Edition 1. Copy number 1 of the Lore Anthem.
Yeah, I actually it's out in the living room. I actually got it on stream, and I actually put a little video on Twitter of me receiving it because they didn't tell me they were sending it to me, and it's like super advanced copy because people are still having it shipped. So it would have been like the first batch or the first proof or something, just to make sure that all the printing was going right. Sent it out to me, and I was like, frick! And man, it looks nice. Like, it is a nice looking book. I felt bad because I said out loud, "Oh, this is nicer than I thought it was gonna be." Like, and I was working on it, and I was like, it just like slipped out, man. It was looking really nice. It's so I can't wait for people to get their copies and to so have a look at it. It's gonna be cool.
I think it's awesome, man. I'm glad that you've got that and you got it to keep for forever, and you probably had a chance to flip through it way ahead of anyone else. So yeah, like as Ed says in the chat, are you going to sign it and give it to yourself as a gift?
This is the point. This is the great thing about being Australian. You can never brag about anything because someone's there to smash you down.
Motherfucker, if there's one thing that Log and I bring you back down to, you saw too high.
Sloth cut out there for everyone just listening at home. But what he said was basically, we have a thing in Australia called tall poppy syndrome. And the second anyone has any form of success, you kind of duty bound as their friends to just tear their ass out and make sure they don't actually feel like they've achieved anything. And we can talk about later. We'll talk about the movie of the week thing later and how my fucking day yesterday went.
Log got movie of the week runner up once again. And well.
Yeah, I was reminded aggressively that I'll never be good enough to actually win it. That was great. But what we might do now, we're going to duck into Man at Arms, who's, we gave him the week off last week. Rick was crook. He was really fucking sick. And he sent me that message, and I read all of his messages in his voice. You know how you do that? And he's like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this fucking video. And I sort of went, man, just don't do it. It's fine. And he's like, no, I'll work on something really fucking unique for next week. And I thought, well, that's trouble. But at the same time, we give him carte blanche of what to put on. And this was literally the last thing I was expecting. So let's just dive right in and we'll all have a look together, eh? Hold on to your butts.
So there's a lot of people in the Destiny community that are like legends. Like everybody knows Syntax 7, Broman, Gathalion, Jay Sniperton. These are rock stars. These are the Eddie Van Halens of Destiny. But there's people walking around that are just badasses that you'll never even hear of because, they don't stream. They don't have YouTube channels and whatnot. So today I want to tell you the story of my friend Bob with no mic. So back in the day, way before I was in a clan, there was a couple three of us. We used to always raid together. It was me, DJ the Great, who taught me how to do every raid encounter, and Bob with no mic. And Bob was always like our clutch anchor. But of course, Bob didn't have a mic. He was mute. So anyway, we're about to do Wrath of the Machine one day. We're in LFG hell, and we're in a tower. We start organizing, and of course, they got the one loud motherfucker that's talking about cheese strategies for this encounter and whatnot, and interrogating us. Trying to find out if we know, what we're doing. Then it comes out, of course, that Bob don't have no mic. So he takes, he's offended by this because, you can't do this raid without a mic. You can't communicate and blah, blah, blah. All that kind of bullshit. So, the conversation is escalating for a while. We're trying not to get out of hand with it because, the whole time this dude is talking shit about Bob. Bob's just standing there, being cool, like, not saying nothing. So, like, as an olive branch to make the dude feel better, you know, the only thing Bob's done is Bob has gone ahead and equipped his head-to-toe Wrath of the Machine raid gear, kind of like, yo, man, don't worry about it, I know what I'm doing. The dude doesn't even notice. He doesn't know what he's looking at. So, finally, you know, I get pissed off a little bit, and I'm like, yo, man, don't even worry about Bob. Bob's going to hang with me. Bob's going to be my partner during this raid. Y'all just don't worry about what the fuck we're doing. Worry about what the fuck you're doing. That kind of squashed the whole thing. So, it was cool, you know, cool, whatever. So, you know, I turned to, like, you know, make eye contact with Bob after all this is over with. And Bob is sitting there, and Bob's going down on one knee as if to say, like, yo, man, respect. Which, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, that still kind of chokes me up to this day because, you know, I think Bob was, like, that kind of dude. But anyway, so, you know, long story short, of course, you know, as you know, in LFG, the motherfucker that talks the most shit is usually the one that dies the most. So me and Bob are holding down the left side. You know, I'm keeping the Azure Bay with the Dragon's Breath. Bob keeps having to run all the way to the right side to pick up Mr. Trials gear. And, you know, Bob really wasn't one, you know, for confrontation, but every time he did go and res him, he did teabag him the entire time. But, you know, shit would kind of get hairy on my side because I'm by myself because I really didn't have anything to equip to deal with the captain. But that was the thing about Bob. So Bob's picking up the other dude, and all of a sudden, you know, you hear that shita, and then, you know, like a tether would come out of nowhere, hit the captain in the face. And that was the thing about Bob. Like, even when shit got hairy as fuck, even when Bob wasn't there, Bob was still there. You knew that Bob could be in space, in orbit, and shit go wrong in the vault of the glass. All of a sudden, Bob would show up and just set it off, and there'd be shade stepping, and like there'd be more smoke in the Axis Challenge than a Cheech and Chong movie. It was that kind of dude. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, if you in LFG or you end up in a random group in an activity and you happen to run across a dude or dudette that is a mute, give that person a chance because you might be missing out on the opportunity to run with a raid god. And that is the story of Bob with no mic. Ha! Bad motherfucker.
I salute Bob with no mic.
That is fucking fair.
Me and Rick have been bouncing.
I love how, like, Matt and I just took the opportunity. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do a shout out for Bob. And he just made a whole video about Bob.
But he's right. Like, there's people out there that are fucking gods at this game that aren't streamers, that aren't anything, and no one knows who they are. But, you know, like, I don't know. I don't think it's the sort of thing he'll do all the time, but maybe we'll get stories in. If you've got a story about someone that's an absolute god, send it in. I'll promise I'll forward it on to Rick, and maybe it'll be something that'll pop up down the line. But Bob, we all need a fucking Bob.
Mute as fuck.
Yeah, mute as fuck. I think the bit where he put all of the raid gear on and the guy just didn't even twig on is, yeah, man, fuck LFG. Dude. I'm never doing that shit.
Yeah. I never do LFG ever.
LFG is just pants, man.
And if you're wondering where Sloth's gone, he's just out having a lung buster as a red-blooded Australian male want. Anyway, we've got the chat up, so if there's anything you want to say while we run through the TWAB, please go for it. But well, we might jump right in. So this is the bit where Sloth normally reads shit out. Now I'm worried. I'm fucking.
I mean, now you can fucking read it out there, mate.
Oh, mate, I've had fucking 10 beers. I'll be worried about my own propensity to read, but
you know what?
Maybe I'll be better.
All right, so I've fucking read it out for nearly 100 episodes. I've read out the 12 for nearly 100 episodes. You've read out the 12 a few times when I haven't been around, or if I've been outside having a durry or something like that. You know who's never read the 12? Who's not pulling his fucking weight? Mylan goddamn Games.
Who?
Mylan motherfucker Games.
Who?
All right.
Merlin.
Who?
Oh, right.
Merlin.
Now I know, Merlin Games.
Melon Games.
All right. Well, let me read. These are some additional notes, right? The season of the Forge includes a raid, takes place in the new setting. So we talked about it before. It tells its own story. It isn't related to the events of the Dreaming City. So I don't really know where this is going to go. I can't think of like what topic they're going to put in the city.
It's got to be Cabal, right? It's got to be around the like
a pocket of like rebel Cabal sort of still in the city.
I assume so. But what if it's just all Sparrow racing the whole raid?
Oh, wouldn't that be good? Bring back SRL in a fucking raid. If you don't make it this time, you will be smite down by some motherfucker with a Thunderlord at the top just going, you motherfuckers have entered my goddamn arena. If you don't make it within 2 minutes, you are dead.
Oh,
So-
yeah. The Vidog did show Fallen, right?
Yeah.
But,
Yep. Now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
The raid will release on Friday, December 7th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard, with the recommended power of 640. So if you're looking to get in, what is it? Is that 3 days after release? Is it released December
3
3rd
days
or 4th?
after release. That is the Saturday morning for us.
How do you, so
yeah, Saturday morning. Yeah.
so there's going to be obviously all your powerful engrams. People sort of understand how to do it now, but that you're going to have to do all your dailies to get there. Multiple characters likely to get your weapons up and switch them across. But that's sort of old school like grind.
It's a cool grind.
3
Clap.
days sort of stuff.
Click.
Clap. Hi.
Good. Yep.
Interesting. Are you guys interested in doing that race or not really?
I will absolutely be doing the raid at release. I am going to be grinding Destiny. I'll be grinding Destiny like a broke streetwalker with fucking kids to feed.
Wow.
Yeah, I would like to do it too. I just don't know if I'm gonna have the time.
That's a stupid
We'll see how it
clock for
goes.
me, so I doubt it. But Jug, can we confirm that you and Ninja will be going around? Hit us in the fucking chat. We need to know that.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch. It. We'll see.
They will be 100, but it will be 100%.
Well,
100% Jug and Ninja and the usual suspects. Your tier ones, your redeems, your German bus drivers. They'll be in there. They'll be in like Flynn. Trust.
I still want to have the experience of going into a raid blind, because that's always for me the pinnacle, and you really don't get the opportunity to do that unless you do it on release. But I don't know if I'm going to have time to grind it out. What I'm going to do though is I might read all the lore leaks so I can start prepping videos when they become available. I've got them ready, and I can just play the game when Black Armory goes live, rather than like what I usually do, which is sit down and read 80,000 words of lore book rather than like, playing the game.
Matt, you know what I want you to do for the rest of between now and the release of Black Armory? I want you to put together 2 videos. One to release on Tuesday and one to release on Thursday, and spend the rest of your time just gathering footage and playing the fucking game.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm not even joking with that. Sometimes, like, legitimately, you and Log do not spend enough time playing Destiny for Destiny content creators.
oh, fuck off.
I'm not even being an asshole. Like, you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he means from
kind
a
of
good, like, he means that we put too much work into our craft.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Play
Okay.
the
I thought he was like, do you play this game, bitch?
No, play the game. Stream the game. Like, obviously not with you. Like,
What is
you don't
streaming?
Really feel like streaming. You don't feel like streaming, but like Matt, play the game.
Not
Stream
either.
the game.
I just don't want to have to wear pants while I play, and it's a big part of streaming.
We can't. Like, I'm not wearing pants at the moment. It's fine.
Anyway. And
Cool.
so we already spoke about the power increase. Everyone will get that. The soft cap's going to remain at 500 power. Veterans of the Hunt rewards are due to be distributed on December 18th in Destiny 2 update. I don't know what that means. Veterans of the Hunt.
Yeah, there's basically a rewards bundle coming out with Shader, a couple of emotes, and some cool stuff that they spruiked a while back. So I mean, if you're really into it, fucking good. You know, remember the coin flip when we were talking about that? The coin flip emote, things like that. So it's cool. I'm glad that they're out there rewarding, you know, people who've stuck on through the hard times. But at the same time, it's not going to be much of a thing, I don't think.
I saw one of the new exotic emotes on a stream I was watching the other day.
Is it the
and
chair?
It was the fucking "This is fine" emote. That makes me so happy. That so what was happening? Like it was so very.
Have you seen that, Matt?
So,
What's that?
The "This is fine" emote.
No.
So you're sitting in a chair, there's a coffee cup in front of you, and everything else is on fire. And just like, this is fine.
Yeah, I did see that at the very end.
Yeah.
They sort of mix them together.
If you guys have been rating recently, there's also something in the TWAB as well. So Bungie is aware of an issue within Last Wish where if Morgoth achieves 50% empowerment, the game may crash. Now, when I was watching Jay and Sin and WTF Gaming, they legitimately were almost like were skipping the encounter because on console it's almost all the time. But
did that happen since the patch? Since the update?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So it crashed, and then they came back, and one of the dudes in Jay's fire team popped the "This is fine" emote, and Jay just left it on there while he went and had a break. I just fucking lost my shit. I was like, oh, "Pokers! Ah!"
You know, the silly thing about it is that, like, the petty man in me goes, you know what? Fortnite might have cooler dances, but we got fucking memes, bitch.
We got memes.
Memes, bitch.
You know what though? Like, I was thinking about this today. Fortnite doesn't have and it's the same with Destiny. Like, there's no real original emotes. Like Fortnite, it's all dances and all things from movies and TV shows and all that sort of thing. Like the yas emote is just fucking Elaine dancing from Seinfeld from fucking 25 years ago. Yeah. Like a lot of the players of Fortnite would look at that and go, I don't know where that's from. Because you're fucking 14. You don't know. At least our memes are relevant. The salty meme, or the "This is fine" meme, or the fucking
Captain America. You seen that one? The Captain America, the sitting on the backwards chair.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
But no, if you are trying to get the Petras run in for the Last Wish
for Ribbonsbane.
Yeah,
definitely
take a break until the patch on December 4th.
The fix is due on December 4th. I know that Black Armory releases that day, so just
chill. You'll get there, kids.
Just chill.
It's fine.
You'll get there. Yeah.
Dream big, dream long.
Matt, did you cover the maintenance? No, you didn't. Maintenance will begin at 8:30 a.m. PST and estimated to conclude at 9 a.m. PST. So it's about half an hour. It could take longer. It could take less. So also be patient there as well. So you use Telesto in Crucible. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I tried to get that one under the radar. It didn't work clearly. Anyway.
And ladies and gentlemen, please note the inverted spire strike has also been disabled due to issues discovered in update 2.1.0 The strike will be re-enabled.
They broke a bit of shit in this update, right?
They fucking
broke some stuff. They broke some stuff.
In a game like this, in a game like Destiny, everything is connected. The red thing's connected to the white thing's connected to the wristwatch. Like, you break something, something else may break. I thought you'd like that one.
I got it. Yeah, I'll leave that.
The white
I'll
thing's
live in that
connected
world.
to the wristwatch.
Good, move on. Come on, man. We've had enough fucking wiggles today.
So the strike will be re-enabled on December 4th. Season of the Forge known issues includes the following: the annual pass not being available to purchase on the Xbox store.
Sorry, Xbox.
Feels bad, Xbox. Feels bad. Get on PC. That's where the fucking real gamer hours are. Crucible Solemnity shader unable to be obtained in Season 5. For those who didn't have it in Season 4. Heavy ammunition spawning in unintended locations.
Has anyone seen this? What does that look like?
I don't know. But I mean,
what does that mean?
If it spawns
just a heavy block, just like floating.
No, it might just spawn on a random wall. You know what? If it spawned in a random location every time, I'd be okay with that.
But like you just respawn, it's right in front of you. Cool.
But it also stops heavy camping as well to a degree. Doesn't it?
Did you guys see this really funny tweet with this like Reddit post that was like, oh, the other team's cheating. They're spawning in with heavy every single round. I keep getting killed by the grenade launcher. What's that militia one? It's kinetic.
that's right. Yeah.
It's not even in heavies.
Yeah.
Militia's right, whatever it's called.
Disgusting.
And like, yeah, they were just like, this is bullshit. Keep getting killed by grenade launchers. That's because it's not in the heavy slot.
Hang on,
That
let
was an
me-
awkwardly long silence, Slothy.
I know that was the
I'm
longest
just-
silence we've ever had. Ever.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Sorry, I was just trying to permit Jug so we can post a video of Gigs playing Destiny. I'm sure there was just randomly floating heavy ammunition.
Beautiful. That's the kind of shit we need.
So yeah, I'd be okay if it spawned in random locations every time, like underneath a bridge or something like that, like just up on the wall. You have to reach, jump up, and get it, and that would be fucking awesome. Anyway, the mountaintop triumph description being incorrect, in which quest title to complete. Some UI elements for Masterwork gear do not appear when inspecting other players, and Season of the Forge shader dismantle rate being slower than others. Fix it, Bungie! Fix it!
Straight.
Fix it right now!
All
But
right.
yeah, there's a...
Well, that's about
It's,
it, eh? Like that's it for the
yeah.
run sheet. So we might as well just get into anyone's yarns for the week. If you're in the chat and you've got something you want to throw at us to discuss, then by all means go for it. But I want to. I just want to. I had a day yesterday. I had a really mixed day in terms of like I had good things happen to me, but I also had one really bad thing happen to me, which was basically born of my own stupidity. And I just want to completely out myself so that if anyone has managed to listen this 1 hour and 16 minutes and 25 seconds into the podcast, that you're really listening to an idiot speak in me. So I played Gambit with Sass and Etz and Jug last night for fucking hours on end. And I used an auto rifle to go forth and get my breakneck. I wanted to load it. I wanted to accrue some kills and all of that. And I got back to the tower at the end and realized that I hadn't picked up the fucking quest. So
He told me about it because even I was sitting in the DDU Discord and he told me about it. He goes, "Oh, fuck." I go, "What?" And he goes, "I didn't get the quest before playing Gambit." And I was like,
So what were you
fucking
doing?
idiot.
Were you just counting in your head, were you?
No, I was just like, oh, this will fucking fill in. This is cool. This is, I thought I picked it up. I
Didn't
don't know.
once bother to check your progression on the quest step.
No, that's not me, Matt. You know that. I'm
Big
not
Eagle
about that.
is
I'm not
such
about
a
that
pleb.
shit. So
have you guys got any of the new Pinnacle ones?
I haven't played Destiny since the update.
what do you reckon, Matt?
I am not playing Destiny until the update drops.
I
Not
probably
for
would have
any
had
other
fucking
reason.
breakneck.
Yeah, not for any other reason outside of I want to wait until some more potatoes are playing comp so I can get the mountaintop.
I think now is
It's-
potato hour, Slothy, if you want to get into it. There's probably more potatoes right now than ever.
I think Chook and I are going to be doing some semblance of comp after I've
I
done
wouldn't mind-
some
I wouldn't mind
prime
doing
stuff.
that.
No, fuck off. You're not invited.
Harsh. It's all right, Matt. I'll play there.
No,
Yeah.
of course. But I
Us
would love
busy
to,
content creators and all.
I would love to play some comp tonight. But no, I haven't been playing Destiny just so I can go in with it fresh eyes, for lack of a better term. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay. And besides, if I had played comp at release, I probably would have thrown the game out.
True. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But one thing that a lot of people are I saw this today from our favorite YouTube content creator, Triple A. But I saw this today. Bethesda,
Jim Sterling.
so-
If you're playing the home game and you're only just tuned in, we're talking about Jim
Jim
Sterling, who is
but,
basically all of our favorite content creator of all time forever.
legitimately.
Yeah.
But he was talking about how in the collector's edition of Fallout 76, it was supposed to bring in a a canvas, like a canvas made.
Here we go.
Canvas made like backpack that was supposed to come with the game, and now people are getting refunds on the game and getting really upset with Bethesda because they changed it to a different design and to a cheaper version of nylon. A cheaper version that is now nylon, but then they went out and gave the real version, the proper version, to YouTube influencers who are giving the game good press.
Oh,
Wait,
what?
some people did get the canvas.
Yeah, YouTube influencers who did give the game positive press.
Can we
sure
just go? I'm just look. I have no fucking dog in this fight, but I am just going to go straight to my man Etz, who I speak to almost daily about audio issues, and I trust him as an arbiter of justice and truth. He says, "I have the nylon bag. It's fucking shit." Also, the helmet doesn't work. So come on. It seems fucking indefensible at this point, right,
dude? Hey, there's been a lot of like. Battlefield 5 hasn't got like many sales either, and Fallout 76 bombed.
Yeah, Fallout 76 bombed, so it's already on at like a significantly reduced price for the
like 2 weeks after edition. Or something.
Two weeks after release.
40% off.
Battlefield 5, interesting conundrum. Is so like Black Ops 4 came out, it sold quite well. It hasn't sold as well as other Black Ops games. But same with Battlefield. So it really goes to show that the even if they release the same shit every year to the older audience moves off into other games, but the younger audience keeps buying COD, and then the people who enjoy COD keep buying COD, it still isn't selling as well because it's the same. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a newer engine. It has different game modes, different weapons, but it's
interesting, right? It's interesting,
basis.
like how. Like I used to be a massive Battlefield fan. Like that's pretty much all I played. I played Bad Company, and then I played, was it 4 maybe? Just that was what I was playing before Destiny. Whatever release was before Destiny. That's the only game I played, and I would just goof around and jump in helicopters and vehicles.
Battlefield 3 was my fucking favorite game.
Yeah,
4 was okay.
Battlefield
1 was not great. It just wasn't great. And Battlefield 5, it's fun. The setting is fun. I mean, like World War II, that's where warfare changed, for lack of a better term. World War I, like the rifles changed, and it was still trench warfare, but it was like millions upon millions of casualties because they didn't know how to adapt to the weapon types. But World War II, it was this grand, like all of the weapons were really, really different. There were some weird ones out there that the Americans tried to develop, the Brits tried to develop, and all that sort of thing. It's an interesting place to be, but when you make 30 games of the same goddamn thing, of course there's going to be price drop. Of course there's going to be people playing it. The population.
Yeah, it's sort of like interesting, like where game development is going. It's like there has been these big shifts in like genres. I think like Battle Royale genre coming out, did that. And then, Destiny did that in the beginning with having like a shooter MMO like RPG like fusion, whatever you want to call Destiny, looter shooter, with raids. And it's sort of like these other games that are just your typical multiplayers, or
they're stagnating a bit.
Well, I mean, I
think they are stagnating
into its own genre, but it is absolutely FPS only games, where they have no campaign, no storyline, i.e., Battlefield 1 and 5. Yes, they have the war stories, but it's not as good as a single, well-organized campaign. And then Black Ops 4 not having any campaign whatsoever. People are really getting sick of that whole hero shooter genre. Overwatch still has the predominant player base with the hero shooter, and Fortnite still has the battle royale. Fortnite and PUBG still have the battle royale. So by rights, Activision are just rehashing the same shit that other companies have already done. That itself is already done as well.
The market in itself has just shifted. Like I think PUBG and like, I mean, you can talk about Fortnite. It's the top dog at the moment, but that whole battle royale thing came in and turned the whole fucking industry on its head. And it's surprising in that like Destiny right now is, I mean, I feel like it's doing pretty well again. I don't fucking care about the finances and stuff, but I jump on and my friends list is full, and you know, there's heaps of people on, and the clan's doing well, and all those things that are the log power slave metrics of success are fucking roaring. So that's a thing, but I don't know. I think there's a dire need for fucking innovation. Like we had a decade probably from, you know, look at it really from 2016 backwards, where they could bring out a COD every year, and it was developed by 2 studios in tandem, and there was really no progression. But guess what? In this one, you got a jetpack, bitch, and like,
but even the jetpack,
they got away with it. It's like fucking FIFA games. Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. Like I think we've seen
fucking Titanfall that brought in the jetpack infantry play, and even Titanfall was copying it from something else that I can't remember the fucking name of.
We've seen a lot of different things like come through. Like someone just put Escape from Tarkov too, and like even the Division, like this idea of PvP, PvE zones, hardcore shooters as well. Like that kind of stuff is really coming in, and I think when you get these repeats of genres coming through, like everyone's like a little bit bored of it. Especially when you've got even like your single campaigns, like you got your Red Deads and like your God of Wars that are telling these massive stories, and then you have like these other games that are just changing it up with what even No Man's Sky. Like I know that launched badly, but the idea of it, like the genre of it, was
unique. It's
and
unique.
Same with like Sea of Thieves too. Like I feel like there's a lot of, you know, people were excited for that and it didn't launch well, but I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like that's what makes people excited now, not like, hey, another COD or like another Battlefield.
Yeah. People you ready for Battlefield 26? Oh yeah, it's going to be so much better than Battlefield 25.
Like I bought Battlefield 5 because I enjoyed the previous. I enjoyed playing 1 to a degree. It's good to see people going and finding out other games.
Yeah,
it's good to see people going out and finding other games like Escape from Tarkov. I love playing that game. It frustrates the fuck out of me with all its bugs, and it's in a constant beta state at this point in time. But I loved the hell out of that game. I love the hell out of that game rather.
Yeah.
Titanfall's another one. I love the hell out of Titanfall 1. Titanfall 2 was really good, had a really solid campaign, but it came out at the wrong fucking time and people forgot about it. You know, like there are other games out there that are just really starting to bury the standard multiplayer only FPS genre.
Can I just interject, and it might be our closing thought for this evening, but do you honestly think that this is going to be how we go forward into the great yonder with the games industry, or do you think at some point they're going to go, hang on, there is genuine money to be made in actual fucking innovation because people are sick to death of the cookie cutter game? We could literally be on the brink of that, because guess what? Epic did it with Fortnite. PUBG did it. You know, you need to be reinventing the wheel. You need to seriously invest big time and fucking come at people with something fresh and unique, or they do not give a fuck. Like
you know what? Like PUBG, you know, really brought in. It really brought Battle Royale to the forefront, and people jumped on that game like you wouldn't even believe. Bluehole have fucked up and not innovated as well as Fortnite have. And Fortnite, as much as I really don't like the Battle Royale part of it, like the innovation of between each season, like there's an overarching storyline, like there was a crack in the sky and like shit from the real world traveled to the Fortnite world and vice versa. And then there's this random cube and all that.
They kept the momentum.
They kept the momentum going. And even though and Twitch numbers don't mean shit if the game doesn't sell. But the Twitch numbers have been relatively good. Yeah, they've been dwindling a little bit, as there's other games come out, and as Monkey King said in the chat, like people have been jumping over to Call of Duty because they like the Call of Duty setting more than the Fortnite setting. But they've continued to innovate and kept the people wanting to play. They kept people wanting to get the battle pass and get all of the things on the battle pass, get the dances and shit. So, it's interesting. Now, just before we go, Vibes actually asked a question. That is related to Destiny on this Destiny.
Fucking
podcast.
what?
Jesus
Can
Christ!
Can we do that?
I don't know. What are your thoughts on Trials and Faction Rally not coming back? I haven't heard this.
They're coming back.
It
is not coming back as soon as you think they're coming back.
With Trials, so they said about Trials, they're still reviewing it. I can't remember where I heard or read that, but they're reviewing Trials to see what needs to change to bring it back.
A lot needs to change to get people to play
back yet. They basically just said that they're looking into it.
I can tell you exactly what needs to change.
Or something else.
I can tell you exactly what needs to change. They need to bring it back, and it's just D1 Trials, 3v3. The fucking same setup,
not the
round based.
Not the random game modes or anything like that. Just stock standard. Kill or be killed, and then when the time runs out, capture the flag.
It's not my jam. Like honestly, Trials is something that I played very occasionally when I was really in the mood for it, and I still got my head kicked in for the most part, unless I had really serious players alongside me. In D2, I played it maybe twice, I think. And it was not something that I thought it was particularly unique. And I think that if they'll have to relaunch it successfully, there'll have to be a factor of banking on that nostalgia as well.
You've got to get people back into that game mode, not just because of whatever, but you need to entice people into that game mode, like they have with Gambit. I enjoy Gambit because it's PvE and PvP. And you can use multiple strategies to get to get where you need to be.
I don't know.
Trials was just you have to win. You have to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I think competitive Destiny is a really hard problem to solve because Destiny is really fun at the moment. We've got all these ridiculous weapons, and that's what's making it fun. But then people are like, well, if I don't have that weapon, and if I don't have RNG for that weapon, then I'm at a disadvantage. And I don't say that, but that's what I've seen people say on Twitter is like, if we don't have this, you're just going to get stomped. And so that's rubbish. So like, I don't know. I don't see there being a solution for competitive Destiny. I think it clashes too much with what Destiny's about.
Trials, I'm perfectly happy to see what happens with Trials over time. I don't want them to bring them back just because the community's screaming for it. I want them to think about it, and I wanted to bring it back. Even if they change it up to a point where it's very similar to D1, where people really, really enjoyed it. And Etz is right. Trials did keep the Destiny community alive on the weekends at the very least for a little while in Destiny 1. But it wasn't the only thing that kept.
I wouldn't even say a little while.
I'd
say a fucking long while.
I just had like a flash of something, right? Imagine if it was like CSGO and you had dollars and you could just buy the weapon that you wanted to use as that loadout. And the more you won, then you could buy an exotic. You go into the exotic menu and you're like, all right, I've got to get Queen's Breakers for this round. It's going to cost me 4,000 Glimmer between... start off with these sidearms, and then you get some money, and then you the next round you bloody open it up. You're like, all right, I got enough for an exotic now. Purchase that.
Fuck. You know what? Fair question, man. I think faction rallies we're going to see sooner rather than later. I think they'll sneak them back in at some point when they've figured out the balance of where they come back. I don't think it'll be something that we'll see particularly heralded beyond the TWAB. This is coming in the next few weeks. I don't think it's something they're going to hang their hat on, particularly with respect to like the roadmap. It's not on there at all. So, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's gone for the long term, but I think it'll be something that they'll sneak back in. So it's that kind of week to week, something to aspire to. And I think if anything, they might even go back towards a bit more of a D1 format with that too, where it's less of an event, more of a fucking continual grind.
As far as I'm concerned, Trolls need to get like with Gambit and Comp, Trials needs to entice people back. It needs to, like, people need to jump in there, not for the want of the weapons or the armor, but for the game types and the game and how well it plays and how much.
Yeah, for the flex. Yeah.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call that there. It's like as silly as we get on this stream. Sometimes we are a little bit serious. So thank you very much for hanging around. If you're in the live chat and you've joined us today and you've hit that follow button, thank you very much. You're all aces that you show up nearly every time, if not every time, and hang out with us.
Especially when we're out of hours too. Like, I mean, that's going to happen coming into Christmas. I said it last week, and then literally within a week it happens. Maybe it was just divine providence, but at the same time, it's going to happen a little bit. But it does mean a fuckload to us that you turn up and participate in our podcast. I mean, we there's the three of us sitting here. We talk, but your conversation is, we read it constantly. And in case you can't tell, we're sitting here talking, and even when the chat isn't up, we're reading it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll just put it up from the get-go from now on. But who knows?
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell if you would like to know when we upload. We upload once a week, mostly on Saturday. So maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, depending on what Log's doing. But if you like the cast, make sure you hit that like button, share it with your friends. We're not monetized, I don't believe, on YouTube. It doesn't really matter. But hit that like button, share it with your friends. We like meeting new people.
So I think just to be full disclosure, we are monetized, but literally the money we make out of this podcast goes back into paying for it to be hosted. That is it.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's like I don't have a fucking pyramid of gold bullion just sitting off to the left or anything like that.
I've been wondering why Log's driving a Ferrari around.
Yeah, I've got that
motherfucker. Share some goddamn. No, and if you've made it this far on YouTube and you don't really have any questions, queries, doubtful points in the comments, put it down. Just write a comment that says "fuck YouTube."
I was going to say.
We're not doing that. What we're going to do is fuck spoilers.
Fuck spoilers.
Fuck spoilers. And
if you made it this far into the podcast.
And if you want extra points, you put in brackets, sorry, exhibit.
Look, fucking Christ.
I've had a few to drink. I don't give a shit.
The law is coming for you, and I'll tell you where it's based. Its base is in the corporation, the pig of YouTube, the Google HQ that Sloth hates. It's level 2. It's behind the arcade system. The law is hiding there. It's going to come get you.
Go fuck yourself. And if you're listening on the audio only, thank you very much for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been the Destiny Down Under podcast. Stand by for a raid. We'll go say hello to a friend of ours.
It's a very particular friend of ours, actually. He's been a repeat guest. We're going to go and say g'day to none other than Jay Sniperton. So if you're rocking on and you want to continue rocking on, he's a good dude to rock on with. So rock on. Anyway, we'll see you next week.
May the